Hi, I'm Dave Kale. Welcome to this Christian Business Insights podcast show where my goal is to provide you with practical, actionable ideas to help you create businesses and careers of excellence and at the same time multiply your influence for the kingdom. I have been a Christian in business for over 30 years, and I have personally and contractually consulted with over 500 different sales organizations. So in these podcasts, I combine the lessons that I have learned with an out-of-the-box experience and perspective on Christianity that you will find challenging. And we put that together to provide you with practical insights and ideas that you can use to live better and lead better. Welcome to the journey. Good morning, this is Dave. Today I'm going to be talking about a simple, easy, practical thing everybody listening to this podcast can do this week to bring your business to a higher state of influence in the kingdom. One simple little thing, and it's not difficult. So let's get into this. Acknowledging God in your foundational documents. So Joshua said, "But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." That's Joshua 24:15. That's his parting address to the Hebrews, whom he has led for most of his life. Joshua declares the commitment upon which he has lived his life. He will serve the Lord. Note that his commitment is not just for himself, but for his entire business. Household is the biblical word used to describe everyone in a person's business. All the family, the servants, the slaves, the employees who made their living by doing the work that the head, in this case Joshua, has given them to do. So in this passage, Joshua is declaring that he and all the people who make their living in his business will serve the Lord. Let me repeat it. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. The Hebrews to whom he was speaking responded in kind. Here's what they said. "We will also serve the Lord, for he is our God." That's verse 18. The commitment that they made influenced their lives and the lives of the next generation. We read at the end of the chapter that, quote, "Israel served the Lord all the day of Joshua and all the days of the elders who survived Joshua." That's verse 31. So there's a sequence of events. Let's follow the sequence. A well-known, highly respected, highly visible person of significance publicly declares that he and all the folks associated with him in his business will follow the Lord. That's first step. Second, the people who hear that commitment respond in kind, following the lead of that significant person. That's second. Third, they follow through on that commitment. And fourth, the nation is transformed. 4 steps. Begins with publicly, a highly visible person of significance, a leader, publicly declares that he and all the folks associated with him in his business will follow the Lord. And that begins a series of events. So, what's the lesson for us in all of this? Well, there is a certain power and attractiveness that accrues to those folks who take a stand and publicly express it. That's called leadership, and the world is full of people looking for a leader. You know, there's something compelling about a person who is committed to a cause that is bigger than just himself or herself, and who has the courage to declare that commitment, not only for himself, but on behalf of those in his or her sphere of influence. And then to do it publicly, for anyone who wants to hear it. That impact can be incalculable, spreading across geographies and dripping down into several generations. What an impact. Of course, we've all seen this principle in our lives. Significant people influencing multitudes with the strength of the commitment to a cause. My mind, of course, leaps to Billy Graham on the positive side, and I suppose on the negative side, Hitler, These are grand-scale examples, but there are scores of others in our families and communities who don't get the same level of notoriety, but for whom the principle is just as operative. if we want to make this actionable, we just reverse engineer the process. If we want to impact generations of people, we need to make a commitment to a cause larger than ourselves, serving the Lord, and publicly declare that commitment, not only for ourselves, but for our entire business. Like a stone thrown into a pool of water, the ripples of impact can spread beyond our ability to discern. It may even be the tipping point to transform a community. We don't know how big, how wide those ripples can go. There is so much power in the process that it rises to the level of a fundamental biblical principle. It is a promise to us. Let me read you here Matthew 10:32 and 33. Listen to this. Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown my Father in heaven. Wow. For a Christian business person, the question then becomes not if, but how. How exactly do you make a commitment? How exactly do you publicly announce that commitment? What's the mechanism that would give you a platform for expressing a commitment to acknowledge and serve God? Well, there's a very practical solution, and that is what I call our foundational documents. The vision, mission, and value statement we create for our businesses. They provide an ideal venue for expressing such a commitment. They not only express the deep desires and values of the business owners, but they also bind the employees to that same set of values. While you cannot in our society commit someone else, and particularly your employees, you can't commit them to following Christ, you certainly can declare your commitment to do so. In your vision statement, which articulates the highest aspirations of your business, you can acknowledge the role that God plays in your business. In your mission statement, which describes the work that you do and the markets that you serve, you can acknowledge the role of God in that, providing that opportunity for you. In your values statement, which paints the picture of the ethical boundaries of your business and portrays the higher values to which you aspire, you can develop those out of a deep understanding of biblical businesses and Christian ethics. Now, I'm going to read you the foundational documents as an example here that I created in 1994 to guide my business. Were I to revise them today, they'd look somewhat different. But they express my desire to make a commitment to acknowledge and serve God and to do so in writing, publicly, for all the stakeholders in my business to see, understand, and accept. So what did I do with these foundational documents? One side of one page. All prospective employees were given a copy during the interview process so they know who we were. The documents were posted in prominent places around the office, so everybody coming into the office knew who we were. I would regularly review them in company meetings just to review our commitment and who we are and what we stood for with our employees. Whenever we took on a new vendor, they got a copy. In other words, everyone in my sphere of influence got a copy of our foundational documents so they knew where we stood. Now, if you want to make an impact in your business, if you want to create ripples of impact that could skip across geographies and drip down through generations, then acknowledging God in your foundational statements is a necessary step. Now, I've got a little short, what we call learning path, a little training program on creating these foundational documents. It's in our XI community, so I'm going to put a link. If you want to take a $19 course, you can in doing this. But in the meantime, right now, I'm going to read to you the foundational documents I created in 1994 for the business. Okay, first, here we go. Vision. Here was our vision. to continually increase our positive impact on people and organizations while remaining in the center of God's direction and reflecting His character. That was our vision. Here's our mission: to help people grow their organizations, their sales, their people, and themselves. We will do that through the application of our abilities to provide consulting service, create educational products, create and deliver presentations, and provide training. That's our mission. Now, here's our value statement. I'm not going to read it all, but I think I got 10 values here. I'm going to read a couple of them. So, our values. Number one, profit. We will earn a better than average profit, as this allows us the flexibility to do other things. Integrity. We'll be honest in everything we do, never overpromise, and zealously work to fulfill our commitments. Value. We will strive to provide our clients more value than they expect. Personable. We will be pleasant and easy to work with. Knowledgeable. Understanding that we are in the business of selling knowledge, we will be on the cutting edge of new knowledge. Open-minded. We will constantly be open to new, different ideas, methods, and concepts from all sources, especially our clients. Learning. So I'm reading down through the list of values here. Learning. We will value individual and organizational learning, which is the ability to continually take in new information, acquire new insights, and change in positive ways as a result of that information. We will value that as our primary competitive advantage. Humility. Listen to this. We will constantly be aware that the resources we use and the clients we serve are gifts from God entrusted to our temporary stewardship. And finally, quality. In everything we do, we will strive to do it as well as or better than the very best companies in the world like ours do it. That was my mission statement, vision statement, and value statement written in 1994, and it's guided our business ever since. Okay? Now, in that training program I mentioned, I got a copy of this if you want to review it. Okay, so create, if you haven't already, create a vision, mission, and value statement. Those are foundational documents. If you already have them, take a little bit of time, go back and think about how you can give glory to God in those documents. See, once you take that stand, it's like Joshua saying, as for me and my household, we will follow the Lord. Make it a part of your foundational document so that everyone who comes into contact with your organizations understands who you are. Then when you do that, you're throwing a rock into the pond, creating ripples that may, in fact, drip down through generations. You don't know who you're going to impact. Okay? That's it. We're done. Bye-bye.